The Brain Simulation. This audiobook was written and read by Gary Science, watermarking this audiobook to be my own and must not be resold after buying from me. You can only promote this audiobook to earn commission for yourself. The Brain Simulation. The price of this audiobook is 8,000 naira to get the complete audiobook, and anyone can read this material. The human brain is so powerful, but as you know, the most powerful forces we have, such as electricity, etc., are also the most dangerous. So, why don't you think the brain will hurt you if you don't use it well? Each day, I urge you to do just that one thing that gives you the feeling nothing else can. The brain can be so powerful but dangerous at almost the same time. So, I want to give you the necessary things you need to know about the brain so you be in the good side always. Simulation is something that is not real. So, if we humans are in a simulation, it shows we might be living in a false world or an unreal world. Life is good to all as always. I wish to put this in this audiobook. You are the master of your life. If you think you will lose, then you lost. If you have to think high to rise, the last ones are added information. If you think you have made mistakes, then you have indeed made one. The brain is made up of neurons. Neurons are brain cells having nucleus and cytoplasm. From biology, we show that the neurons, which can also be called biological wires of the body, are made up of axon, which is an extension from the cell body. Dendrites, which extends from the cell body too. Neurons are visible and can be seen. Brain has thousands of neurons stacked together. It is this complex arrangement that leads to consciousness or awareness humans have. The human consciousness has been a mystery for years to humans. Different explanations have been given to help understand what consciousness is all about. The brain is known to be the source of consciousness according to recent studies. Consciousness proceeds from some microtubules in the new brain neurons. It's a known fact now, and it is highly experimentable. Without the brain, there would be zero consciousness. So, the brain is the source of it. If you think anything outside the brain being the source, then you should correct that quickly. The brain is powerful, but many people, especially those in the black population, don't care about brain science. I laugh because you do yourself for not reading or studying. Black people are not reading anything concerning brain science. I do not mean everyone, but more of the population. And for the most part, people in the black community should learn to redefine things to themselves. This particular exercise will help you rewire your brain. Your brain is just like a computer. When you put in, you always get an output except the computer is bad. So it is with the human brain. It is always responding to thousands of inputs it gets in a day. Don't accept any stupid thing people say, especially on radios. Redefine things to yourself. This is what will make you naturally or mentally strong. Here's the main idea of my audiobook. Every organ needs an environment to function in. The flowers, perinating organs, hearts, etc. all need their environment to function. Without environment, an organ or tissue won't function. The real thing should be this. Organ plus environment is what organ should be. Tissue plus environment is tissue. So, If the brain is an organ, it also needs an environment. The liver is an organ, and what is its environment? Its environment is the blood and the human body. The heart has its environment to be the blood too. The brain must have presumably created this so called simulated environment we call life. Remember, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world from who we are. So, we see the world the way we are and not as it is. The brain always creates a virtual environment for all humans, but the nature of this environment differs immensely. Don't ever think the virtual environment of your brain is same or similar to someone's own. It is totally, and I stress again, totally different. It is a known and verifiable fact in neuroscience and quantum physics. This world is constantly being colored by our emotions and constantly being shaped by our eyes' lenses. This virtual environment from the brain is really what gives us the sensation of life. So if you think it's just the brain saying, hey, I'm a living thing, you must use me or let me work for you. So in your dream, it is exactly like you consciously creating the virtual environment through conscious thinking. But in your dreams, the only difference is you are not under control of it at all. Your brain simply creates the virtual environment for you. This is what we call dream. And all you have to do is act in this virtual environment the way you will act this environment. The way you will act is different from the way others will act, but also might be similar, especially if the two people in consideration possess same beliefs. I shall write about beliefs someday and how it is destroyed. These are the things or toxic behaviors to avoid to keep your brain in good health. But before we go into that, I wish to talk more about stuff. Can you tell the difference between consciousness and life? What if consciousness created life? What if so? Have you ever had a deep REM sleep and dreamed to see yourself explain an idea in details that you just intended to explore in real life but haven't? I will share my personal story here. I read about the zodiac one day and all about the earth and its rotation and Ptolemy's scheme and many more things. Then I just intended to maybe explain this concept of zodiac and why we see the moon sometimes when it is when in its lunar cycle. This was just an intention, but you know what? After some time, I slept and had a dream of me explaining beyond what I even intended in a dream. I was able to spot out something really important. I discovered that the brain creates a fake or virtual environment for us, and this is what we call dream. So, when we see ourselves in this virtual environment, we think it's real because our body is unconscious. This is why dreams appear real. According to neuroscience, the body is the unconscious mind. So if you think your body knows what's happening around you, then I think you're lying. Your body relies on the interpretation of what you see to be reality. So if you always react to the same thing in the same way, then by definition of emotions, you're thinking in the past. You can't think greater than how you feel. So if feelings have now become means of thinking, then you feel the same way every day. It means you're thinking in the past. How then do you begin to rewrite a new program in your brain. A program is an instruction to a device about a possible input and how to react to it. So if you have an old program which has only made you feel bad each day, then if you don't rewrite it, you will definitely have troubles. If you should close your eyes and create a virtual environment for you, do you know your body will begin to think the virtual environment is real? Here is how to create a virtual environment. You can do it in your thinking. With your thought alone, you can conjure up some virtual reality, and your body or your brain reads this as true reality. If you think a lion is about to eat your legs, you agree with me that you begin to feel agitated. That is it. This is why in your dreams, this virtual environment needs to always come up, because the brain is an organ and it needs an environment. The environment of the brain is the so-called mind and consciousness or consciousness. If all organs always want to function, then get ready, because your brain will also want to function, and it's as this done by creating the virtual environment for you. This is probably why thoughts are always in your head. Now, these thoughts harmful? Nope. Don't fear your thoughts. You are 100% in control. It is only a thought that is held long enough that produces a feeling, and feeling is a chemical that can affect your state. So stop being afraid of your thoughts. We shall say, or we can say, our thoughts are not real, but virtual environments, which can give us virtual realities sometimes. So, what you call reality is not reality. These are things or toxic behaviors to avoid to keep your brain and body healthy. Don't judge people. 1, 2. Focus solely on yourself, but this should not put a stop to the physical interactions you should have. 3. You should know that if something happens to you, there are multiple ways to see that thing. So, why selecting the worst option among them? For instance, if I should slap you, you would read my action in your brain in different ways. Some would say it's because he's proud, etc. If you select a bad option, you always have to have a bad result. It is so simple. Always select a good option, because nothing you see in this world is real. The brain is simulating a lot of things even while you are awake and conscious. Delayed choice experiment is a big proof this is happening. In delayed choice experiment, when you fire photons, which are individual particles of light, through a slit, and you look into a device where you could see the photons, you observe something phenomenal. You see particles, but when you remove the device and decide to see with your eyes, you see wave-like projection. The device is just a camera, so don't say the device caused the difference. This is big. It means your reality is what you choose it to be. If you look into yourself from one view, you see a limited picture of you. If you change the lens, you see one other thing. So it is a big lesson. You have to understand that you are in control of your life. Many people feel if they take control of their lives, then things will be bad, or they are neglecting God. Go and redefine that reaction to yourself. Taking control of your life doesn't do anything as such to you. 4. Don't overjudge yourself. 5. Know your thoughts are false, just that you can use them to create a virtual reality for yourself. 6. Stop taking the negative option always. Bye. This is the end of my audiobook, The Brain Simulation. So, the lesson here is this: your thoughts creates a virtual environment. Your brain always creates a virtual environment for you. This is what consciousness is. And this virtual environment creates virtual realities for everyone. This is what takes place in your dream. But in the case of your dream, you are not in control. When you're physically conscious, you're consciously thinking or creating a life for you, that is also dream. That's what they call daydreaming, because you're consciously creating the virtual environment. But in the case of the dream, you are not consciously doing it. Your brain is doing it, automatically creating a virtual environment for yourself. So since your body is unconscious, when you put your body in this environment, since it's unconscious, it can't tell the difference. You can't tell if it is actually in a physical reality or if it's in a virtual reality. So that is why your body acts as if it is actually in a real world. And that's why your dream appears to be real. This is a big science of dreams. This is car science. Bye.